Hello, my name is Marc Jeffrey, and you are listening to episode 20 of the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, brought to you by MPC Solutions. Hey podcasters, what the frickin' hell's up? You are listening to episode 20 of the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, recorded July the 4th from the studio on the hill down in sunny, beautiful Cornwall, southwest UK, not a million miles from London. Yes, people, thank you for joining me once again. Great to have you on board for episode 20. And episode 20, what a cracker I have lined up for you. Now, in the studio last night, I had Sam De La Haye. She came in for a little bit of a chat, and what a great girl she is. Bubbly, full of energy and passionate in what she does. Those are the sort of people that I like in the studio. Now, she is a wedding singer. She's a musician. She plays the piano and all that sort of stuff. She writes her own music. She does covers. She's just about to become a vlogger. She's going down those routes. But on top of this all, she has a passion for social media and stuff like that. Great podcast to listen to. I'm really, really excited about this one. If that's not enough, she's left me 2 songs that she'd like me to play for you. The first one that she's going to be playing is one of her own. It's called Mannequin. And it reminds me of a song that I heard by a band that I can't quite put my finger on. So I want you guys to help me out on that one. And she finishes the show with a cover by the Goo Goo Dolls. And the song that she's covering is the song called Iris. So, without further ado, shall we get on with this freaking show, shall we?
The Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show.
Right, next in the studio, we got something freaking amazing, I'll tell you. She's called Sam, and she does musical sort of stuff, and we'll talk about her. And she's not too bad to look at as well. Good evening, Sam.
Hello.
Yeah, where's the wetsuit?
They didn't have it in my size.
Now, the reason why we say this is because on her Facebook page in the week, she was wetsuit shopping with her son.
I was, yes. My son managed to get a wetsuit, but I didn't. And he looks amazing in his O'Neill wetsuit. Very trendy.
Doesn't he look like his dad?
Yes, he does. Yeah, you don't need a DNA test, really.
So how's your day been?
Do you know what? I've been gigging all weekend, and I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm not going to do anything. So pretty much didn't do anything.
I've had an absolute crap day today. I just walked around my post round and I totally feel like a zombie. I've had no energy. So that means because I've had no energy, I've been binge eating, which has depressed me even more because I'm doing this fitness plan at the moment. And do you know what? I'm blaming it all on my hay fever. I've had a weekend of horrible hay fever. So you might better notice that on my voice.
No, you sound great. But it's interesting when you talk about when you're tired, you binge eat, because do you know what? That's exactly what I wanted to do today.
Well, I binge eat all the time. It's just, do you know what I mean? This is this fitness thing. I'm just trying to be healthy. And I've taken up this taekwondo thing and I'm trying to be healthy. And I'm doing this fasting diet which is tomorrow. I don't eat anything all day apart from a couple of bananas and a bit of, and it's really, really good. It's going to help me tomorrow. But today I felt utter crap. I went to the Padstow Steam Rally yesterday down in Cornwall, and it was really, really good. Had a really, really good time with the family, but I just spent the whole day sneezing, and I didn't have my hay fever tablets with me, so I come home yesterday and I troughed to one of these hay fever tablets down, and I had one today. The problem is because I don't take them, and Nikki's always telling me off, what you should do is you should take them at the beginning of the season every day, and then you won't get hay fever. Well, I don't. I just trough these tablets when I get ill. And then it just makes me feel like a zombie.
Yeah, I totally get that. I luckily this year I haven't suffered from hay fever, but I totally know what you're talking about.
But one thing I will say, and I've got to blame somebody now, a good friend of mine, George Vincent. George, if you're listening, I'm not very happy with you. Nikki said to me, she said, why is it that in the last 4 years you've not had any hay fever whatsoever, but this year you've been struck hard? And I didn't know at the time, but I was on my post round today, and I think I've got a reason. I think I've got an answer for that. Honey.
What do you mean?
Well, George, my good mate of mine, he produces honey. He's a local honey producer over in Callington, about 10 miles away from us here. And I heard through the grapevine that honey is good for people with hay fever. It's got pollen in.
Yeah.
And if you're having pollen into your body from a local source, it is good for hay fever. So I took a test, and for the last 4 years, I've been eating honey in the morning on my toast, and I haven't had hay fever. George always gives me a pot of honey for my birthday every year. This year, he didn't give me any. I haven't got any local honey left. Haven't been putting on my toast in the morning. Hence the reason why I've got stupid amounts of hay fever this year.
So it's all George's fault. It's
all George's fault. So
if George, you're listening, can you please bring some honey round?
I've actually got a better idea, because George is so slack. If there's any local honey dealers around that would like to dedicate a pot of honey to me, send it over to Landrake, and we will tell you if that works. But do you think that's a viable reason, honey?
Do you know what? That is actually a really interesting point, because I have replaced my sugar in my coffee for this kind of maple syrup, which isn't honey, but I haven't been struck with hay fever at all this year. So maybe there's some type of honey in this syrup.
But it's not local.
Oh, that's true.
It's not local, is it? It's got to be local.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I've got no idea then. I'm going to lie to you.
The first time that you and me met, well, no, actually, should we say the last time we spoke was the first time we met.
Yes.
Now, I thought this was back in February, but looking at it now, but our chat just a minute ago, it was probably earlier than that, wasn't it?
Was it before Christmas or after?
I think it was just, well, I don't really know. I was talking about setting up a podcast.
We were getting really excited about it, weren't we? Because we're both obsessed with podcasts.
Yeah.
And I was really intrigued with how your podcast was going to go. And you just said, I'm just going to go for it. And I was like, I'm not.
You was like, you've got to have some contact, Mark. And I said, no, I haven't. I'm just going to do it, stuff it, bang.
You're so brave. And you've done it. Look, you're like, what are you on now? 19?
This is episode 20
There we go.
Yeah. I thought it was February, but I think you're probably right. I think it may have been before Christmas. I don't know. But when you left here, you came over here with Tristan, your husband, and he's a sound engineer, would you say? What would
I was going to say something a bit rude, but no, I'm going to.
I've called him worse.
No, he is a professional sound engineer.
He's professional.
Yes.
And you guys come over here, and it was basically Tristan was going to come over to have a chat to me, and you trundled along, and we started chatting, and it got to a stage where Tristan was sat there twiddling his thumbs, and it was you and me chucking questions at one another, wasn't it?
Did I tell you that I actually hijacked? Well, no, what happened is I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you know this, but we were in my living room and we saw your gig, your live gig on Facebook. And
no, I can't remember.
You were doing some radio thing on Facebook.
Oh, right. That was when I was with NCB. Yeah.
And I don't know how it was, but Tristan said something about you were into social media marketing. I was like, oh my God, social media marketing. I got to know this guy. This is amazing. And I said, you've got to introduce me to this guy. And Tristan's like, yeah, whatever.
It's only Jav.
And then, so I literally pushed Tristan to meet you, and I was super excited. And maybe I've shown all my cards now. I've shown all my cards.
Cards on the desk. But I'll tell you what, after you left, like I said, I don't know when it was, but when you left, you and Tristan left me buzzing. And that's the reason why I've called you in the studio, because at this moment in time, my podcast is going in the right direction. But I've had a few, I won't say trolls, but a few small things chucked my way. And I've sort of not lost the love for it, but I've just like, you know what I mean? I need something to pick me up again.
But it's a slog, social media marketing. It's a real slog. And I think when you're doing this podcast and you're just in this room and you're on your own, it's like, hello, is there anybody there?
It is like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is it's not just the podcast. It's not the podcast that I feel like I'm a pro at this podcast thing now.
You're amazing.
It doesn't bother me at all, podcasting. I'm loving it. It's the social media side. It's the promotion side. It's all the crap that goes along with it.
See, it's not crap. It's not crap. It's just the most beautifulest thing in the entire world. I need to sit down with an afternoon view.
You do? Well, the thing is, after you left last time, I decided I was going to do an episode on video media, because you came over and we started talking about video media. And I think it was episode 4. I'd done a podcast called The Importance of Video Media, where I talked about everybody in the world at the moment is on Facebook Live. Everybody should get on Facebook Live. I feel like I'm going to burp in a minute. And everybody needs to get on there and do it, because it's absolutely amazing. And since that, I've done it twice, had no real proper feedback, and now I just can't be arsed with it.
Okay. Yeah, but you've only done it twice.
Yeah, well, I just can't be bothered.
Yeah, but I think people need consistency. I mean, for example, your podcast, right? If you did your podcast just twice, do you think that you would build momentum?
No, I get where you're coming from. But I have heard a few things about Facebook at the moment through networks, should we say, podcasting networks that, I've sort of like gone right off Facebook, and I really, really cannot be asked to spend any time with them. And we was talking about it earlier on. For prime example, all of these people now, like myself, that put stuff on Facebook. And doing advertising on Facebook and spending all that money on Facebook, to find out that not many people's giving you much response back. And the reason why that is because, say you've got 900 listeners or 900 viewers on Facebook, your content is only going out to 3% of those people. So you have to spend some money to advertise, and then that rest of that money that you spend goes to the rest of your viewers, if that makes any sense. You know where I'm coming from?
I do.
I just think if I've got 900 listeners and I say something,
this.
900 people should be seeing what I'm putting, not only 3%.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anywhere else in the world at the moment where you can really target your audience. And yes, you do have to pay. I understand that. And it's a bit annoying that you now have to pay, but like for the sake of £6, which is not a lot of money, I think that you could really target your podcast.
It's 1.5 pints.
Okay. 1.5 pints versus 20% engagement.
Yeah, I'd rather have 1.5 pints.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But no, I think you need to give Facebook another go. I think the algorithms have changed, and I think that you've got to try it again. It's like dating. Maybe you went on a bad date and actually...
No, went on a good date.
Okay, well, just give them a chance. It's going to be a slow burner. But on a plus side, I think that once you understand about Facebook advertising and you understand about your audience and targeting and your branding, I think you'll be amazed because it's so cheap. Facebook ads are so cheap. So, for example, if you were to pay, I don't know, what type of advertising would you normally do in a business? You do radio, you do television, you do Google ads, you do... I don't know. What do you do? Any type of advertisement?
No.
Well, then there you go.
A simple answer to that is no.
But you do need to. Yes, you can get a lot of free organic reach if it's good content, but I also think that you need to invest a little bit in yourself.
Well, I did last week. I'd done a little bit of advertising to try and get a few more listeners, and I think I spent about £10. And it got about 75 views for £10. I'm just thinking, well, 75 people have seen that £10. I just thought, it's a lot of money for just 75 people that may not even be interested in it anyway. But
your reach was, I mean, how many, was it like in the millions?
What?
Well, who did you target?
Just random people, UK, America.
So you might as well have just put like £100 note in the sea or a £10 note in the sea. Like, you've really got a target. So for example, when I do my Facebook ads, I only target 50,000 people. So I target, for example, people... compare me to Tori Amos, yeah? So Tori Amos is my relevance score of 9. People who like Tori Amos tend to like my type of music. So if I put Tori Amos in, because she's got, about 800,000 people on her page, that would be targeting 800,000 people. Okay, that's too big. You need a reach of 50,000, not 800,000. But if I do people that like Tori Amos and the person that I love at the moment, which is James Bay, because I just love him, he's so sexy, it then goes right down to 50,000. And I found from targeting people who like Tori Amos and James Bay, I'm reaching my sweet spot. Yeah. So it's about really targeting. So for example, with your audience, we spoke about this before, didn't we? Your audience are men aged between
30 and 50, really, the majority of them.
Okay. So, and you really like this comedian podcaster?
Joe Rogan. So I would target him, and then I would target somebody else as well until you get your reach down to 50,000, and try it. You might find your sweet spot. One thing we have got to do as well, because the thing is, it's like everything that I've done in life has been self-taught. Because I do actually think down the line I was a little bit dyslexic. I've got no interest in school at all. School bores me. I'm 40 years old, and check this out, I've never ever read a book.
Whoa. Audiobooks.
Yeah. I've never read a book. So everything bores me. I'm I lose interest. So I think I might have been slightly dyslexic or something like that. But I'm just rambling now. I don't know what I was talking about. but yeah, that was it. I've learned my way with podcasting, but I'm finding it a bit difficult now. Doing the advertising, the promoting, the media thing, because it is something. Us podcasters are quite thick people. Do you know what I mean?
I think you need a strategy. I think with anything, you can try lots and lots of different things, but unless you've got a strategy, it probably won't work. So you need to say, right, okay, the next 3 months, I'm going to have a strategy I'm going to really promote my podcast, right? So say you've got a 3-month strategy, you've got your podcast, you're then going to start to do your Facebook, you're going to do your Facebook ads. You may then decide that you want to do some type of blog as well, or you could actually write up your podcast and have that as a blog. But you need a strategy.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm going to... Yeah, we'll do. One thing I have decided is that my logo is going to go, the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, with that stupid freaking spider with an owl's head.
That scares me. When I saw that, I was like, that's really scary, that spider.
That's going. And yeah, we're going to get rid of that.
You're going to come into my photo studio.
Yeah, and we're going to try some of that on iTunes as well. You're going to try and get me to go down the route on iTunes where I'm going to get people to listen to my show, tell them to listen to my show and leave some feedback and
I think
comments.
If you're listening right now, I think what Marc really needs are reviews. And
I need reviews, guys.
Yeah, and I think, Marc, you're doing so well. And I know that there is a lot of people that are listening to this right now. And not YouTube, iTunes, like... reviews. They do. They like reviews. So if you've got some 5-star reviews, they're going to up you up and they're going to start to promote you. So I love listening to podcasts. And, when you first go onto iTunes, you've got all these promotions of different podcasts, but they're all promoted because they're 5-star. So in order to be seen, you need to get reviews. So guys, I am begging you, please review Marc's podcast.
Freaking get on iTunes now and leave me a review, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you're not here to talk about me.
I'm loving this, though.
You're here to talk about yourself. I
never get to talk about social media marketing. I'm like buzzing.
Well, we'll have to do another podcast one day just on that sort of thing. So my listeners that might be interested in setting up their own podcast can have a little bit of your knowledge. What do you reckon?
Try me. Yeah. So probably have changed.
Who are you? What is your name? What are you doing in my studio?
Hi, my name is Sam De La Haye and I am a recovering alcoholic. No, I'm only joking.
And a drug addict. Currently, she's a drug addict.
No, my name is Sam De La Haye. I am a singer-songwriter, pianist, currently living in Cornwall. And
not a million miles from London.
Not a million miles from London. And I'm really just totally in love at the moment with online social media and promoting my music, really promoting me as a singer-songwriter. I'm also a qualified music therapist, so I'm really interested in psychology, and I'm just going to be releasing a vlog, which I'm super excited about.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, and it's going to be different, actually. It's not going to be talking about music. It's going to be talking about psychology stuff. So I'm going to be talking about what I have learned as a music therapist, for example, instincts, boundaries, relationships, attachment issues. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to be releasing it in 4 weeks. I'm going to give myself a deadline. There we go. I've said it now.
Have you got any pages already that we could look up or not? Are we not that far ahead yet?
Pages?
Lines that we can follow you on. What can I say?
I'm on Facebook.
You're on Facebook, yeah?
Yeah, I've got my Facebook page, which is preliminary. What's the word? Preliminary?
I don't know, because I don't know where you're coming
Primarily.
from. Primarily. That's the one.
Is that the word?
That's the one.
I'm dyslexic too.
They always make these words so bloody
I'm on
difficult,
Facebook, guys, on my page. That's where I am. I'm building my own website, which has been taking me 9 months. I'm still on my first page, so I might be a while with that.
It's like Build a Bear, isn't it?
It's just a nightmare. I don't know why. I just thought I'd do it myself. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it very, very slowly. But I have another website page, which is for my weddings. So if you are getting married and you need a piano vocalist for your wedding, someone that sounds a little bit like Eva Cassidy, that's me.
If you need a pianist at your wedding, Sam's the one to go to.
And you can find me on Sam De La Haye with an E.com, I think.
What sort of music do you play then? If you was to come to my wedding, if I was to have one, what sort of, would you play any Chaz and Dave at my wedding?
No.
You wouldn't. What sort of music do you play?
At weddings, I do similar stuff to Norah Jones, Eva Cassidy. I've been compared to Christina Perri. You know, that beautiful love song, chilled out, relax. But I'm also do quite buzzy stuff. So I do some Stevie Wonder and I do Shut Up and Dance. I do that one. I do some Madonna, depending on what you want, you know. Obviously, you don't want Madonna as you're walking down the aisle. You might do. I don't know.
Do you do any rap and hip hop?
No.
You ain't coming to my wedding.
Not on the piano. I do rap when I'm doing my holiday parks, but no, definitely not on the weddings front. No. Should
we play some of your music now?
Yes. Okay. You can play my original music.
Yeah. Well, is that what we're going to put on an original track? Yeah.
Well, let's do an original track and then we'll see how we go.
Because that was one of the questions I was going to ask after the song. I was going to say, so Sam, do you write any of your own music?
Oh. And then I jumped ahead.
It doesn't matter. We're going to play an original track by Sam now. Tell us what the song's called, Sam, and tell us a little bit about it if you want.
Okay, so the song is called Mannequin, and it's on my album called England, which I am going to be re-releasing in October. I haven't got a date yet. But it's basically, I woke up one morning to it having been written in my head. It was that crazy. I know that sounds really strange. I woke up and I had in my head and I was like, so I ran to the piano and it was like the spirit had come through my body and just written it. Anyway, that's a bit strange for those of you that think I'm a bit strange, but it's about your ego and it's about how sometimes, you know, when you have like no self-esteem and you...
Like I am at the moment.
Yeah, you know, when you just like completely beat yourself up and you like feel really shit about... Can I swear?
You can if you want to.
Right,
say bollocks, shit, whatever you want to. We shouldn't really, because I'm going to be putting it on that it is a clean podcast, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rewind. We can edit that out.
We can edit that.
Yeah, so the first verse, I'm talking about how when your self-esteem's really, really low and how the mannequin turns you around and you look in the mirror and you go, actually, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I'm okay. I'm okay. But then the second verse is like when you think, I'm doing great. I'm the best. I am amazing. I am the best person in the world. And you know, when your ego gets like really big and then the mannequin turns around and says, actually, you need to calm down. Actually, you know, take some responsibility for some of the shit that you give on other people. So,
not too much swearing.
Sorry. But it's about that careful balance of ego between being, you know, hating yourself and loving yourself. But then the final thing is about, I guess it's also about therapy. The ghosts of Christmas future. He says that, you know, the mannequin is always there. So, you know, when I'm going through that low period, the mannequin is always there to turn me around and say, you're doing okay. And when I'm in that high space, the mannequin's also there to turn around and go, keep your feet on the ground. So that's what the song's about.
Right, should we play it?
Yeah, go on then.
A mannequin came into my dreams like the ghost of Christmas past. He took me to my school from hell in a magic horse and cart. I saw failed stars acting still like they were superstars. They looked me up and down. Then the mannequin turned me around and said, what do you see in the mirror? When you gonna love who you are? 'Cause as far as I can tell, you're doing pretty well, and these are lessons you must learn. A mannequin came into my dreams like the ghost of Christmas present. He made it clear this time that this particular fault was mine. He showed me who I'd hurt, who I'd lied to, and who I'd burned for my selfish pride. Then the mannequin turned me around and said, what do you see in the mirror? When you gonna love who you are? 'Cause as far as I can tell, you're doing pretty well, and these are lessons you must learn. till the mannequin showed me what I needed to see. Now this mannequin is coming to my dreams like the ghost of Christmas future. I hardly see him now, but I always know that he's around. And almost every single day, when I get lost or lose my way, I beat myself up. The mannequin turns me around and says, what do you see in the mirror? When you're gonna love who you are? 'Cause as far as I can tell, you're doing pretty well, and these are lessons you must learn. These are lessons you must learn. These are the lessons. These are the lessons. These are lessons you must learn.
Right, so there we go. That was one of Sam's original tracks. What was it called again?
The Mannequin.
The Mannequin. Beautiful, beautiful song. So who inspires you? Who do you listen to then, and to get the inspiration for your music?
Music-wise, I most recently James Bay. I just think he's a phenomenal singer.
Never heard of him.
You never heard of James Bay?
No.
Hold back
Did-
the
did-
river,
did you-
let me look into your eyes. No.
Yeah, I think I do recognise that one.
Yeah. There's not many. You don't know. You don't know. Him
I
at all, you?
I do recognise that track you just sung. I did.
No, but it takes a lot for a singer-songwriter to impress me. A lot. I'm very critical. And James Bay, his voice is incredible, but he's also a phenomenal guitarist and a phenomenal songwriter. So I'm really excited about James Bay. I like listening to country music. Can I say that?
You can. I've got a bit of country. What can I say? My dad used to be an Eagles fan. He is an Eagles fan, so I've got a bit of country in me. I've grown up listening to a bit of country music in my.
Who do you like country-wise?
I've seen Kenny Rogers live.
Who's that? No, I'm joking.
She don't know who Kenny Rogers
That's
is.
old
guys.
school country, isn't it?
It's really old
That's
school.
like 60s country, isn't it?
Yeah. Was it him that done the Rye Stone Cowboy?
In a rice don't
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not the type of country I'm into.
Well,
But
it's country.
yeah, it is country. Yeah.
And
not,
the Eagles, Hotel California.
yeah,
and
no, I
all
like that.
lot.
Yeah.
The rest is a load of crap, personally, in my opinion. But I quite like that sort of stuff.
Well, the stuff that I listen to is like, do you know Alison Krauss?
Nope.
Bonnie Raitt?
No.
Civil Wars?
No.
Okay. Really depressing stuff. Depressing, like soul heartfelt stuff. Yeah.
Podcasts. Are you into them? Every week, everybody that comes in the studio, I ask them, as it is a podcast, do you like podcasts?
I love podcasts.
You do? What's your favourite podcast at the moment? Say it. Go on.
Mark's podcast.
Oh, yeah, see. No,
that's why you got to give him a 5-star review.
on iTunes.
Yes,
Go on iTunes, give me some
iTunes.
reviews. Who do you listen to? No, seriously, who do you listen to?
I've had a long-term relationship with Amy Porterfield.
Have you told Tristan this?
No.
All right, okay.
No, she's my sweet spot when he goes away on tour. She does social media marketing and business, and I just love her. And the Female Entrepreneur Association, Carrie Green, she's awesome, and she does a lot of podcasts interviewing entrepreneurs that have kind of made it now, but she talks about when they're like us, Mark, you know, the early stages when, I don't know, I mean, when, you know, you're not in your broom cupboard, but, you know, kind of that, you know, when you're in your broom cupboard with a dress over you.
No, I'm in the dining room.
yeah, but
Dirty
you've
dishes
got
and
quite
kids' toys around
sophisticated
me.
equipment. You know, we're not talking about someone with a handheld microphone trying to get the damper. I mean, do you know Gary V?
No.
Oh.
I don't know many people.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
No. Don't
Okay.
know. You can
I'm going
say
to
his
give you a
full
list
name,
of
I don't know who
podcasts
he
to
is.
listen to. They're amazing. So there's that one, Mummy, kind of entrepreneurial things. I'm just obsessed with them. Obsessed. Love it.
Have you ever considered doing your own podcast?
Yes.
Yeah? That was a very quick one. What would you do it on?
I don't know. That's why I haven't done it.
You've got to do one. You've got to do one.
I was thinking about doing a podcast, but at the moment it didn't fit well because podcasting, the best podcasts are when you interview people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, debatable. I started doing it by myself, but I just get to a stage where I find it difficult looking at a wall, talking to myself.
Get
And my
lonely.
podcast used to be half an hour long, and it's more enough. It's gone down the route of like an hour now.
I love those hour ones though.
All of my like research that said that the best podcasts are between half an hour and 40 minutes, that's just gone way out the window.
But to be honest, because I listen to my podcast when I'm driving, and it's so annoying when they're like 20 minutes because I'm driving. I'm like, oh, God's sake, I've got to now pull over and put another podcast on. I like the full hour ones because they take me from A to B.
But then on the other side, you get somebody that will say, yeah, well, my work is only half an hour away, and I always listen to half an hour, then I never listen to the other half. So I wish I'd listened to a half an hour podcast. Get where I'm coming from?
No, I don't like those people.
Well, they were saying that the majority of people that listen to a podcast commute, and they commute for half an hour to their business. That's what the reason why they say half an hour.
Yeah, but then if they're into you, I mean, yeah, there have been podcasts, and I love it even more. You know, halfway through a podcast, and then it's like, pause it, do the gig, come out the gig. Oh yeah, I forgot I was listening to that podcast.
I mean,
love it.
Joe Rogan, his podcast can be up to 3 hours long.
That's a long time.
It is a long time, and this podcast that I'm going to be doing soon. With my mates in the studio, just talking rubbish and drinking. I even got a name for it yet. I've got to think of a name for it. An adult themed, like getting drunk around the table with the microphone on for 3 hours. That's going to be 3 hours.
I want to be one of the boys.
You can come in. It's not just
I'd
boys.
love to do that. That sounds like so much fun. But I think it'll be with the boys, won't it? You're going to be talking dirty, naughty stuff.
No, we're not.
Going to be like in a room with a band.
We're not going to be talking vaginas and boobs and stuff like that.
Oh, you can. I'm happy to talk about that too, you know.
So, have you ever considered doing voice coaching? Or do you do voice coaching?
I do voice coaching. I do voice coaching. I teach actually as well. I teach piano and I teach vocal at a few schools around here. Can I say with schools?
Of course you can.
Yeah. So I teach at Compton Primary School, and the kids there are fantastic. I teach at Tor Point Community College.
Right.
I teach at Callington Primary School, and I teach
my old stomping ground. Don't talk to any of the teachers about me.
Okay, I won't. and I teach at Marine Academy as well. So I teach at 4 different schools, piano, vocal, and I do private teaching a little bit. So
busy person.
Yeah, I like the kids. I think you learn more than they do from teaching.
How hard is it? Like you say, you write your own music.
Yeah.
You're a singer. Mm-hmm. You do gigs. You're talking about doing your vlogging and all that sort of stuff. One thing that I'm struggling at the moment is with just my podcast, doing everything in the podcast industry, like, you know, podcasting, doing some research, getting speaking to promoters for music, speaking to potential interviewers, promoting my stuff, marketing my stuff. There's just not enough hours in the day. How do you find being a mum and a wife? How do you find the time to do all of this at the same time?
Well, Tristan is away a lot. So I'm really productive when he's away. Really productive. I do my Facebook Live gig every Thursday at 12. But that's literally Thursday morning. I prepare for that. Then I do my gig. Then by 1 o'clock, I lie on the floor because I'm so tired. Because it just, I don't know about you with these podcasts, it just exhausts me. I love doing them, but it exhausts me. My teaching is scheduled, so that's fine. My gigs are scheduled. And then I have quite a bit of childcare. So I have like 30 hours a week childcare.
Yeah, but it's little stuff like housework and all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's what I was saying. My house is a tip. No, but actually, I've got this new thing. So I spoke to my friend Nicole, who's amazing, by the way. She's got an online business as well, and she's got 2 kids, and she's like super mum, and her husband's a fireman, and he goes away for like 3-4 days at a time. And I phoned her up and I was like, I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. I can't. How can you exercise and look so amazing and have 2 kids and do this all? And she said, calm. So we went through my work schedule, and she said, right, what you need to do is we're going to focus on 3 things. So this was a few weeks back. She said, you're going to do my website, which I've told you I've been struggling with for nearly since September. You're going to do 1 hour a day on your website, because I have 9 hours in the week to do this type of stuff, right? 1 hour a day is going to be towards website. 1 hour a day is going to be answering emails and doing all that crappy stuff, you know, like invoicing and emails and stuff, electric bills. And
I just call it stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And 1 hour a day is going to be promoting your wedding singing. Okay. And I laugh because the first week was brilliant and it worked really, really well. And then 1 hour in the morning to do my yoga, my yoga challenge, and it was going amazingly well. I was like, I've got this. I have got this. And then the following week, I had a bit of a shock. This is something personal that happened. I had a bit of a shock and it just completely threw me off.
Yeah.
It just threw me and I haven't gone back to it. So I think it's a case of, in an ideal world, is doing 1 hour of something, 1 hour of shit, and then 1 hour of something else a day. And then you can also do it like a 1 hour in the evening as well. If I'm so tired, but sometimes I do like a push hour, like, right, we'll do 1 hour of something.
Life management skills. That's what we're talking about today, this week. And it was the words for this show, for this episode, can be life management skills.
Yeah, I mean, look at my life. It's amazing. Come and follow me. No, but I think we're always aspiring, aren't we? We were talking about this, weren't we? We're talking about real people. And, I am sharing at the moment on my Facebook page my yoga challenge. And it's probably been 30 days now. This weekend was supposed to be my last sessions and I'm only on day 9. So I think, I don't want to be talking to you about how amazing I am because I'm not. Does that make sense? I
like what you told me tonight and I'm going to try this out with you at home. What I'm going to do is on my Facebook page, you at home, you like what I'm about. So from now on, at least once a day, I'm going to put a little bit about me and a little bit of what I'm getting up to on my Facebook page. What do you think? So it sounds good?
Yeah. I want to hear more about your taekwondo, is it?
Taekwondo, yeah.
So how much are you doing that?
I'm doing it 2 times a week at the moment. I do it on a Wednesday night, which is an adult night, which is where it's just the adults that go. And we do that for an hour. And that is proper fitness and beasting ourselves.
What is taekwondo?
Taekwondo is self-defense.
But don't laugh at me.
Right.
Don't laugh at me. Is it like, hiya?
It is no.
Or is it like tree? Whoa. Okay.
We're going to have fun here, aren't we, guys? I think what we're going to do, right, is we're going to go into another song here. And while we're playing the song, I will tell Sam, I'll get her in a few headlocks and some. No, it's self-defense. What song should we play now? We're going to play another one of your songs, and I'll tell you a little bit about taekwondo.
I want to do something like. How can I? I don't know. Let me have a think. You put me on the spot now. Let's do a cover. Let's do Iris.
Do a cover. Okay.
Yeah, it's Iris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check this out, guys. Tell us what you think.
Give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't want to go home right now, 'cause all I can taste is this moment. All I can breathe is your life, and sooner or later it's over. I just don't want to miss you tonight, and I don't want to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. And everything's made to be broken. I just want you to know who I am. And I can't find the tears that ain't coming, or the moment of truth in your lies, but everything feels like the movies. Yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive, and I don't want to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. And I just want you to know who I am. And I don't want to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. I want you to know who I am.
So that was Sam's cover of Iris. Who was it that done that originally again?
Goo
Just
Goo
trying to
Dolls.
think. The Goo Goo Dolls. That's right. Yeah, I kind of like that song. Yeah, so I've talked to Sam about Taekwondo. She knows now that it is a self-defense.
Yep.
It's a martial art,
Yep.
and then I've taught her how to do a couple of moves.
Yeah, I didn't manage to get them down though. I think I need a bit more practice.
The Voice. We talked briefly earlier on about you done an audition for The Voice.
I did.
Now, I love the Voice. I freaking love The Voice. I'm not a big fan of the X Factor, but The Voice I do like. I'm a little bit disappointed that Boy George wasn't on the last series, and Paloma Faith. I like Paloma Faith and Boy George. I thought it was good for the show. But I do actually like The Voice. I like what it's all about. I like the fact that, you know, the chairs are round the other way. And for people that don't know what The Voice is, over in the States, and you don't know what The Voice is, have they got The Voice over in the States?
I think they've got The Voice everywhere now.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I like what it's all about. You're not looking at that person. So, you know, it could be a big fat troll.
So it's more about talent rather than
what they look
looking
like.
cute.
Yeah. So how did it go?
Good. I think so. I just feel I did it 4 years ago, and I got to the same stage that I've got to now. But 4 years ago, do you know what? I left there and I was like, oh, they won't choose me. They just won't choose me. I was really down on myself. And Edison was my son was about 9 months as well. And I was really sleep deprived. And I don't even know why I auditioned for it, actually. If I'm honest with you, I think I just did it because I wanted to try and still have a career then, even though it wasn't happening. But the difference this time is I feel really positive. I feel, and I might listen to this and cringe, but I feel like the stars are aligning, actually. I feel like something is moving.
It's all coming together.
That I don't know about. And I know that sounds really silly. But I think I'm positive. I'm put my feet on the ground, and I know that it is like winning the lottery. It totally is like winning the lottery. And I'm 35, right? The majority of people that were in the interview process, I think they whittled it down to about 15 of us at the end of the day. And they were all like early 20s, really trendy. And there was me. And I was like their mum. It was so funny. I was sitting with a 17-year-old going, oh my gosh, you could be my son right now. This is really scary. But Tristan reckons that they will choose me because I danced in the audition, and he said that they'll pick me because I'll be the fun one, the one that people laugh at. So I'm happy with that. I'm absolutely happy for them to be picked to be the laughing old person. That's fine. I'm happy. I'm happy to do that.
Well, best of luck for you. Did you last time you done The Voice, did they give you any criticism? Did they tell you giving any criticism at all? Did they just say, sorry, you didn't apply this time, you didn't qualify this time, or did they say, but a bit of advice for next time? Did they give you any advice or not?
Last time they didn't give me advice when they sent their letter saying you didn't get through, but they did give me advice when I went to the one-to-one interview with the producer and the vocal coach. So I went in the last time doing just piano vocal, and I pretty much just laid on like Angel by Sarah McLachlan, like all that sultry stuff. And then they said out of the blue, so what else can you do with your voice? And I was like, and they said, can you belt it? And I was like, yeah. And I was really put on the spot because I have that side of my voice, but that's not why I went in to show them. So this time I took a massive gamble, and I don't know if this is going to pay off, but I did Iris, the song that we played earlier, and I didn't play it with the piano. I did it with my piano as a backing. So I was completely vulnerable. I didn't have the piano in front of me. And then the second song, I did Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars, which I do with my holiday parks. I'm a different person though. I am like, I'm going to eat you alive.
Oh my God.
I was like, you know, the sultry, I'll give up forever, you know, eyes closed, like, and they look really bored. So I'm quite pleased I did the Uptown Funk, because literally I was like, you know, put my hand on the table, you know, with my wiggling my finger, come here, darling, you know, wiggling my hips, doing like crazy dance moves. And I looked up and they were smiling, and that was good. So
was you nervous?
I was, yes.
Because about, I don't know, 15 years ago, I auditioned for Big Brother.
Did you?
I did, yeah. And it was the
How
most.
Did you get on?
It was the most craziest, stupidest thing I'd ever done in my life. But I had the best day of my life. I didn't get through. I didn't even get through to the interview stage when they go in the booth for 2 minutes, because even though everybody was saying, Jaff, you're going to smash it, it's going to be amazing, I was so normal. I was just a normal person. And what was quite funny about it was the bloke that actually interviewed. What you do is you go into this big room. It was in Cardiff. So it was in the Cardiff town hall, and there's queues and queues of people. It's queued all the way around the hall, down the corridor, all the way up the street. You know, you're queuing there for miles. And when you get into the room, they split you up into a group of 10 people, and then there'll be 4 people in the front there, and the producer, which was the one that interviewed me, he just said, right, I want you for 2 minutes to talk about yourself, which was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Now, I would totally smash it. But when I was about 21, something like that, I was too much of a cocky, you know, lad, really, and I just...
What did you say then?
I can't really remember what I said, to be fair. It was something on the lines of, you know, like, I wanted to promote myself as being from Cornwall. And I said, you know, I'm a 21-year-old from Cornwall. You need to get me on the show because I'm funny. I have a laugh. Everybody loves me. And you've never had anybody from Cornwall. So I think that you're a little bit racist to Cornish people. And they just basically didn't see what I was all about. And the producer...
They weren't interested in you being from Cornwall.
Well, he said to me, he says, what part of Cornwall are you from? I said, a small pasty town called Callington that produces Ginster's pasties. This is where everybody works at Ginster's.
But Ginster's probably wasn't that famous then.
Well,
you know, that's the problem.
The bloke knew exactly where the Ginster's pasty factory was. And I was too normal. I had a wizard in my group. I had a philosopher and a wizard. I had a woman that was about 8 foot tall and she was only 16. Then on the other hand, I had a bloke that looked about 10 and he was 35. There was a bloke that was beside me that all through the time, he was called Mike and he had a long coat on, and when he got there, he took all his clothes off. And there's just me.
How could you compete with a nude man?
Like, there was loads of all these that I called weird, crazy people. So they just wasn't interested. But I reckon I could go and do it now and smash it big time now.
What would you do differently? Would you go naked?
No, I would just go and be myself and say that, you know, I'm a podcaster, I'm a radio broadcaster, I'm a father with 2 children, and just be myself. And I think that's what the show, to be honest with you, needs, because it's just gone right downhill now. I used to be a massive fan of Big Brother, but now I couldn't give a toss about this. It's too many people, and they're like, hello, my name's Colin, and my great aunt was the Queen, or I'm from Chelsea and I'm friends with, you know, John Terry. There's too many people who's friends of people that's in the eye at the moment.
But I think also, I mean, do you remember when Big Brother first came out? I
didn't watch it.
Oh, did you not watch it?
I didn't watch it till the 4th series.
See, I only watched it till the 4th series. And, you know, when Alison, Big Black Alison, that's now on ITV, when she was on it. And back then, there was no such, like, even I remember the 1st and the 2nd series, they didn't even realise that they were going to get famous. It was a social experiment. And it was normal, not normal people, but people weren't expecting fame. The only reason I think why people go on Big Brother now is for fame. And
which is what I went on for, to be fair, because I wanted to be famous then. I couldn't give a toss now if I'm famous or not. But back then, that's where the negativity came in, because I wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
And I was out there saying, pick me, because I need, and all this sort of stuff. And that's where I would do things different now. I think if you go on to any of these reality shows and make them realise that you are just a normal person and you don't want the fame,
No.
that you just couldn't really give a toss about the fame. I think that side of it will come through and you'll do better from it.
Yeah, I think also as you grow older, you do things for different reasons as well, don't you? Like you, when I was younger, all I wanted was to be famous, And actually, even with The Voice, I'm not going to, I would say this is confidential and you're all going to be listening to it, so it's not confidential. But I was driving, picking up my friend, and I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing The Voice? I've got a kid who's 4 years old. I've got a husband that's on tour 24/7. Not exactly beautiful 21-year-old blonde. And even if I did get through to The Voice...
So you're a beautiful 35-year-old blonde.
Thank you. But do you, I have a family. I can't just drop everything and get signed and do like an American tour and all of that stuff, which is why I'm doing my online music, So just like you, because we've got families and we want to stay at home. And I was like, why am I spending my Wednesday doing this? See,
this is why I've changed. I don't do this podcast now to be rich and famous. I couldn't give two hoots about being. If that came along, then you would not turn it down, But the reason why I do this podcast is for that one listener at home that's just about ready to jump off a bridge and their life is crap, and they tune into me once a week to talk rubbish that makes them look at themselves and puts a smile on their face. That's the reason why I do it. And if one person can listen to this show and have half an hour or about an hour now of enjoyment and cheer up for a little bit of their time once a week, that's what I'm doing it for, not to be famous.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, what's your why? And when I was driving, it's very similar. My why is basically I want to impact people and change their perspective of their life through music, whether that be through music therapy, whether that be from teaching. I love teaching because it does do that. Whether it be from singing and making you smile or making you really feel something. And that's why I did it. And I think that's very different to being famous, isn't it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Totally. So where does Sam De La Haye go from here? It was 2017, the last part of 2017. Where are you going from here? What are you going to be doing?
Okay, so by the end of 2017...
What do you want to do, should we say?
I want to have a vlog. I'm going to be releasing my vlog. For those of you that don't know what a vlog is, it's kind of like a video diary.
It almost sounds like Russian.
A vlog. I'm doing a vlog.
And I'm Vladimir and I do a vlog.
Yes. Because I think it's like podcasting. Like people, when they do my live Facebook gig, they see me sing, which is great, but there's so much more to me than, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, yeah.
So, I'm going to do my vlog. I'm releasing my album in October time. Re-releasing it because when I released it the last time I was pregnant and did nothing with it. Nothing. And I spent like 5 years of my life on it. So I want to just honor it and just do my Facebook Live and build my following up on Facebook and meet more people like you that love this type of thing. So
guys, get on there. See what she's all about. Check her out. Where can we find you?
So it's Sam De La Haye on Facebook. So it's facebook.com/Sam De La Haye. And as I said, I've got my Facebook Live gig every Thursday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time. You will find me doing my Facebook Live gig. It's normally about half an hour, 40 minutes. I'll be doing some singing, talking to you.
Magic shows.
Yeah, not regular magic shows, but I did have minions.
Here's a biscuit, watch it disappear. It's gone.
I did have my minions on the last show, which was great.
Banana.
So I might try something different this time. And also, if you've got any requests, I take requests. So come and say hello. It'd be nice to see you.
Before you go, because we have been whittling on a bit now, it's supposed to be half an hour, but we're up to about an hour or something like that now. But
it's been so much fun, though.
Have you got anything that you would like to ask me? Any questions or anything that you'd like to ask me? I might be able to answer it.
When can we go for coffee? We need to talk. I think we need to talk.
We do.
I've got so much to tell you properly about this. And do you know what, Mark? I love that you're doing this podcast. I love it. And, just listening here to the hypnotherapist guy and, you're even like, I was like saying to you.
That was last week, by the way, episode 19. Check it out. I'd
like to meet this hypnotherapist guy because obviously music therapy and hypnotherapy are very similar.
Just don't look into his eyes.
Don't look into his eyes.
He does. Yeah, just don't look into his eyes. Don't look around his eyes. Just don't look into his eyes.
One more question.
Go on, go ahead.
When do you think you're going to give your job up? When would you like to give it up?
Well, I had a special delivery that was late this morning, so they might be getting rid of me before I was back.
That'd be the push you need.
I don't know. I'm not going to... What I want to do is be going down the lines of going from a 40-hour to 30 hours and then to 20 hours and then to 10 hours, not just rather than giving it up.
Yeah.
I would like to say, the thing is, this is my first year. I'm currently on year 4 of radio broadcast, and I said that I wanted to be reducing my hours at work after 5 years. But that's been a change of plan. I'm no longer doing radio at the moment. So I don't know is the answer to that. I really don't. I would like to say after 5 years, but I can't see it happening after next year.
But say 2000, like the question you asked me, where do you see yourself in 2017? Say Christmas time, where do you see this podcast or your career, your new podcasting career? Would you say it was a career or
hobby? Hobby at the moment. Where will I see myself at Christmas? I don't really know. I really don't know. I'm honestly, I'm just taking it each week as it comes at the moment and speaking to loads of interesting people like yourselves, taking advice from those people, taking advice from people on social media, and trying my best to fit time into my busy life to improve my product for my listener.
Don't forget date night.
Date night, yeah. Me and Nikki have got to have more date nights. We do. We haven't neglected date nights. We've got to do those. Yes.
Because I think this can be quite. Well, I find it very obsessive, and I know Tristan does say to me, "Hello, husband here. Hello, off your laptop, husband here." So yeah.
Sam, thank you very much for coming in the studio and having a chat, and we will see you very, very soon. Sam De La Haye, it's been an honour. Thank you very much.
Bye.
There you go. That was Sam De La Haye, and I told you it was going to be a good one, didn't I? Did you enjoy it? Of course you did. Special thanks to Sam for coming in and buzzing the hell out of my studio. Yet again, she has left me with some passion and drive to push my podcast to the next level. Thank you very much for that, Sam. Now, perhaps you'd like to hear more of her stuff or find out a little bit more about what she's about and all that sort of stuff. Well, what I will do is I will leave you a link to her podcast page, not a podcast page, start again. I will leave a link to her Facebook page on my show notes and you will be able to check her out. Now, as Sam said earlier on in the podcast, I am looking for your help. If you listen to me on iTunes, or what the hell, even if you don't, get on the iTunes page. It's easy to do. Load it up and up it'll pop. Type in the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show and I will pop up on your screen like a winky on Viagra. Then you will see all of my shows, and below that you will see a little section that says comments. Now, please leave a comment, and if possible, you could leave me 5 stars. And as Sam said, all of this helps my podcast to grow. With your help in leaving a comment, iTunes will promote my podcast more and more, and who knows, before long I may get that successful and that big, I may even be able to interview Krista Burr, Kermit the Frog, or who knows, even Vladimir Putin. You can also contact me, jaff10@hotmail.com. Tell me what's going on in your life, because I want to hear it all. I'm also on Twitter at MrJaff10. Check me out on my webpage, www.jaff10.simplesite.com. And on my show notes, I even have the link to my new Facebook page. So check that one out as well. Until then, I leave you with this one last thought. Love yourselves and others. Treat those around you with some respect. And remember, your life may not be as crazy as you once thought it was.